Okay, hello, good evening, Office Global family, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Renee Liao, Lifestyle Director for with Opulence Global, and today I'll be actually your trainer for this evening's Forensic Networker call. Our CEO is actually doing another very important call with a different market, and so I guess you get a chance to be with me for tonight. So. It's not too late to please send out those reminders, of course, in all of your group chats to your teams. Spend a few minutes to contact them and not miss this call because we're going to talk about a lot of great stuff tonight that you don't want to miss. Okay, so one second here. I'm going to share this as well too right now. There we go. I hope all of you had, of course, a really great time today. We had a wonderful day. I know my day has been pretty good. Had a few meetings today, met some other naturopaths in the area, had a lunch, sold a family pack, 14 plus 2 bottles of the Fountain of Life. Got a chance to talk more about the divine with my same customer. And of course, they're looking at now as well to getting themselves the divine as well, and then had to get my kids from school. After that, came back and was doing some tennis with my boys. So, there's always something going on in my life, of course, too. But tonight, I'm going to share some really great training on how you're going to have forever customers. So, if you want to understand, well, how do you have forever customers? Please take a few minutes, of course, and invite, of course, everybody on your teams to join tonight's call. I'm doing my usual forwarding of messages, of course, to the group chats. And yeah, you might have a few group chats if you're brand new, but for me, I have, oh gosh, probably several hundred group chats to go and always send reminders to. So I think I'm almost done with this now. And again, if you get a chance to, if you just hopped on, please do share with us in the group chat your name, of course, where you're dialing in from, so we can properly, of course, welcome you to tonight's call. And again, it's our weekly forensic networker call. And our CEO is actually just busy at the moment, in fact, with another group on their call. So he won't be able to do tonight's call, but he reached out to me. And of course, anytime I get a chance to train or to share, I absolutely would love to. And that's why I'm here right now with you guys. All right. So let's see here. Some great news since we launched the new Lifestyle Advisor Plus package. I have been seeing a lot more activity. Congratulations to all of you who have more of your partners getting launched into the business. I'm seeing a lot of that for sure now as well too. And I'm just about finished there. So, okay, well, let's see who we have here on the call so far. Hello, good evening, Maria Baptiste. Hello, Sorada from Thailand. We also have, of course, Karen Henry. I saw you earlier today, I think, on the AMA call. We had at 2 p.m. So again, just a diehard, always on our calls. Hello, good evening, Erlin. And of course, good evening to our wonderful host. Yes, Karen Henry from Winnipeg, Mary Claire from Gatineau, Quebec. Hello, good evening, Marie Claire. We also have Marcia from Toronto. Good evening. Oh, hello, Aranya. I know that the Team Thailand is absolutely just been going crazy the last few days with our incredible Asia GM, Rico, in Thailand. And he's having a great time down there. And of course, as always, please take a time to just send in, yeah, your name and where you're dialing in from, which part of the world, which city, which country. And again, would love to get this call started as soon as possible. A lot of great things to share with all of you. Yes, good evening, Leon Williams to the call. Oh, from Trinidad and Tobago. Fantastic, fantastic. You know what? These calls are just so vital. I recall when I first got started in this business, October 27 of 2007. Like, talk about that rhyme, right? October 27 of 2007. I just clung, like really, I clinged on to every single possible training session that they had. And, for me, is what could be better than getting trained from, self-made millionaires, people like our CEO, right? Top leaders, and they're just sharing all of their secrets with you, all of their successes, how they did it, and they're doing it 100% for free. One thing that I've noticed coming from the corporate world, and so for those who don't know, I actually studied at the University of Toronto, the downtown campus. I just saw actually this year's ratings because we're looking at some universities for my son in the future. And whether it's here in Canada or just somewhere in the States, like these like Yale and Harvard, all those kind of universities, or going out to, for example, in Asia. And they had a ranking of the top universities. And I was surprised actually that U of T, the school that I went to, was ranked in the world, I think 21 or something like that. And so but what's funny though is when you go to University of Toronto, do you think that their education is free, right? And of course, as you probably know, universities are never for free. So you're actually paying to get education, and then afterwards, you're hoping that with all the money you poured into that education, that maybe one day you'll get a great job. And so the one thing I love, of course, about what we do in our company is that we train you absolutely for free. And yes, actually, here it is. University of Toronto is ranked 21 in the world for universities. If you're curious who's above them, we have Cornell, Singapore, we have California, Columbia, Pennsylvania, Johns Hopkins, Peking University in China, Chicago, Tsinghua in China, something in Zurich, Yale, Berkeley, Imperial College of London, Caltech, Princeton, Cambridge, Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and then of course Oxford. So yeah, I was surprised that actually my university was like top 21 in the world. But again, what's really important here is that the training you're receiving is not just from smart people. Like, you're in universities, you get trained from smart people, but again, even university professors don't often make that much money, right, compared to business owners. In this business, again, you're getting trained absolutely for free by people who have made it, they've had their successes, and they're here to share that with you. So yeah, if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to always put your question into the QA box. And so I'm just going to actually dive right in and start tonight's training. So again, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone wherever you're in the world. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about tonight really was sharing a little secret of mine. So, and as always, I always like to make my training calls very, very interactive. And so, for those who are on this call here, how many of you would love to have a business where you just have never-ending clients for your business, like never-ending clients? Like no matter how many people you've already sold the product to, you just constantly have a never-ending business of clientele to go and reach upon, right? And so, if that's you, write into the chat box, yes, I would love to have, yes, 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 say yes, yes, yes. I would love to have never-ending clientele. And because tonight I want to share with you how I'm still selling products and still launching partners 17 years even after I first got started. So 17 years I've been doing this now. I love what I do. As the saying goes, if you truly love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. And so it's kind of like the whole idea of when you eat, breathe, and sleep your business, right? And you're doing it as your everyday routine alongside with whatever you're already doing. That's when you found this really perfect balance. Okay, so I see the the chat group blowing up here. Yes, people would love to know, how to go and do that. And, what's really shocking is I always relate, I think, the business to sports, because in sports, the amount of discipline, consistency, the never give up attitude, winners don't quit, quitters don't win kind of attitude. Everything about sports, I find that you can take a lot of that. So especially if you like playing sports or you're athletic or you've done some kind of a sport, it could be martial arts, it could be any kind of like an athletic, something like that too. It really relates to business. And the example I'll give you today is, my son Leon, right? Like Leon and Rex, they only got into tennis about 3 years ago. And we knew it was a bit late, right? Compared to kids starting, at 4 or 5 years old. And so we knew the sacrifice we'd have to make, the sacrifice that he would have to make, both my boys. And, for the first 3 years of training and training and competing and training and competing, do you think he won any medals for the first 3 years? Now, there's kids I see today at my kids' club that have been training since they're like 3 or 4 years old, but because they're so young, and not many kids can start training at that age, they're able, of course, to start, winning medals, right? And I see Marie Baptiste again. Like, she has a black belt, if you don't know, in martial arts. And her black belt, she had to train for a long, long period of time before she even got her first belt and then her second belt. And then, of course, the black belt requires even more effort. So my whole thing here is that, Leon has been training and working so hard for 3 years. And he has about 3 medals now that all came in like the last few months, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes people who get into business, the first thing is they don't really recognize that they're in a business. And there's one thing you can write down tonight that will change your whole entire success or not in this business, if you have not already done so, is to write down, I am a business owner. I am a business owner. Because to me, mindset is everything. And what I mean by that is I've seen so many people now that have gotten into this business, yet they don't treat it as if they're in a business. Maybe it's more like a hobby to them, or it's something where, again, it depends on what your goal was, right? If all you want to do here was come on and get some products, so be it. But if you actually had intention of trying to have financial freedom, or if that's your goal right now is to have financial freedom, to live, the lifestyle of the top 1%, then we have to do what 99% of the population isn't willing to do, and that is being consistent. And the biggest thing again is to recognize that you are in a business. Imagine if you had poured all of your life savings into this business and you knew that food would run out really quickly if you didn't work the business. The question is would you work your business differently, or would you do it the same way you're doing it right now? And so this all really ties back into what I'm trying to say, because I saw another amazing interview. I don't know if you guys watch tennis or not, but why not learn some new things while we're doing training, right? Is who here knows of Roger Federer, right? Roger Federer. I mean, he is just one of the, the goats of the tennis world, right? I think everyone knows who Roger Federer is here. He's someone that I think everyone who's, whether you even watch tennis or you don't watch tennis, you probably heard of that name, Roger Federer. He's won so many masters. And so, anyways, he was sharing at one of his some university invited him to speak, in front of the audience, and he was sharing that, even though he has won over 1,756, something like that, 1,700 plus so of all those matches he's played, right? And he's won those matches. He asked the audience, of that many matches that he won, how many percentage of points do you think he won? How many percentage of points played in all those 1700 plus matches did he actually win? So, so the 1700 matches he won actually comprised of him winning over 70% of his matches. So, of all his matches he played, he won over 70%, about 70%, and that number was 1,700 plus matches. Okay? And then he asked the audience, so of all of those matches, what percentage of points played, do you think he won? And let's see your guess. So if you're on the call tonight, what's your guess of Roger Federer, who won 70% of his matches or 1,700 plus games he played? How many of those points did he win? Was it 70%? Was it, let's take a guess here to see what you think. So again, he won 70% of his matches. Of the points played in all of those games, what percentage would you guess of the points? Now, his answer threw me off, so don't worry about making a wrong answer because I would have never guessed his answer. But what do you guys think here? Let's get some activity here. Okay, of the points, of all the points that he played, how many points do you think he actually won? Now, again, if you don't watch tennis, I understand that might be like a weird question to try to understand, but in one match, you'll have a lot of points you have to play, right? And of all these points that he's played, he ended up winning 70% of his matches, which is 1,700 games. But yeah, how many percentage of those points played do you think he won? Okay, we have enough answers to craft something for you guys. So I've seen 1%, I see 35%, I see 80%, I see 50%, I see 40%. So in my mind, I guess, I just thought that if he won over 70% of his matches, he must have won over 70% of the points. Like I was just thinking very like linear. That's what I was thinking. Turns out of the 70% of the matches that he won, points wise, he only won 52% of the points. So he barely won just over half the points that he played. In other words, that kind of means that almost every other point that you were to play, you would have lost that point. Does that make sense, right? Because if you won only 52% of the points that you played, it means that almost like every other point, you're almost losing that point. And what his point of this message was that when you are in a state of mind where you realize that every other point that you play is a point that you will lose, whether you shank the ball or whether you just got beat, someone passed you through the ball. His whole point was you learn quickly to move past that point. You could have the most amazing, running backhand slice that turns up on ESPN's top 10, shots of the night. Even those shots, you realize it's just another point. And I felt like that really relates to our business. You might talk to a prospect today that might say no, or you lose that point, you realize that's just another prospect. You might talk to a prospect who then, buys a family pack and you feel great. Again, that's just another prospect. And my whole point, though, again, is to avoid this emotional high and low. Because Roger's point was that no matter how many points he won, no matter how many points he lost, every point that he played, he realized once that point was done, it's in the past. He had to move on to the next point. And that to me is exactly what we have to do in the business, kind of, right? If you get a no, you can't be thinking about that prospect that was mean to you, that maybe rejected you, or maybe they just politely said no, but you took it personal or whatever. We have to learn to get past those no's. And so I think if you ever played a sport, and I've seen a lot of competitive athletes who do very well in this business because they've learned to not get hung up on the valleys or the downsides when they're feeling down into the actual business. So that kind of relates back to, so if that made sense, just say it made sense. I don't know. I think sometimes there's different ways trainers can try to penetrate your brain somehow to make this paradigm shift that might help you in your business. So if it made sense, give me some love and say it kind of made sense. If it didn't make sense, say, well, maybe don't say anything then. Okay, so I think some people are getting it. It kind of made sense, right? Yeah. So, um, and again, just watch any top athlete. Like they'll tell you the amount of crazy hard work, dedication, consistency. There's one thing that every athlete that I hear says is there's some days where they just don't want to do what they have to do. Like there's some days that Djokovic or any professional sports player who makes them millions, like they've made the top, 1%. There's so like almost like, literally every single one of these top athletes. I've heard interviews of them now. I kind of enjoy watching their interviews. And at some point in time, they all say the same thing, which is there's some mornings where you gotta go and do the swimming. Michael Phelps, right? The previous like Olympic whatever holder for swimming, right? There's mornings where he's like he just did not want to get up. He did not want to get in the water. The other days he didn't want to get out of the water, right? Djokovic, right? There's some mornings he did not want to go and run and do drills and do train up and down the hills and yet they do it because they're very clear where they want to be in their world. They're very clear what their goal is. They might not, and the toughest thing about some sports like tennis, and it's almost like more relatable to us being in business compared to someone who's playing in some other team sports, is in some sports, if you work hard and you get drafted, you might get a contract, right? So you're guaranteed a salary. In other sports like tennis, if you don't win, you get $0. There's no contract for you. Or golfing, right? There's so many golfers who try so hard, they'll compete in the PGA, but if you don't win, you get $0. And so that to me is like this, sometimes it's business, right? You have to work, 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 prospect, 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 prospect. And you might not see the fruit of your labor until a bit later on. Now, in most cases in our business, it's not even that bad, right? You might prospect 10 people, maybe two of them buy products. So, the dollar per hour that you earn is actually pretty good. But I think if we all had the same kind of mentality, and the mentality was let's treat this like a real business, the same dedication, consistency, discipline that top athletes put in to achieve their lifestyle and their success. If we did that for our business, imagine where you would be, right? So I just want to start with that in today's training, because again, for me, I just truly believe that mindset is everything. A poor mindset, you're going to wake up today and you're going to find every reason why not to do something for your business. You're going to find all these excuses, right? With the proper and the correct mindset, no matter what happens in your day, you'll make time to go and share or prospect or hand out a flyer. And so I started today's training call asking who here, right, would love to have endless amount of prospects, right? And because again, I've been sharing that for 17 years now, I'm still selling products to new customers. I'm still having new people launching. And how many of you would love to learn like what I do or what's the secret that you'll have forever customers coming in, right? So again, raise your hands here or just say I, who would love to learn how to have never-ending customers or never-ending growth of partners, right? So here we go. And I'm not sure if this answer is going to be it for you. Maybe it'll surprise you. Maybe it won't. I don't really know. I'm just going to tell you the truth here. Okay. But if you want to have never ending customers, or never ending growth of business partners. You ready for the secret? Like here's the secret. I hope you're ready for it. Ready or not, here it comes. But if you want to know the secret and why, I'll share an example, right? I'll share an example afterwards, though, but because I'll tell you the whole story after. But here's the secret: you simply must constantly expand your network. So let's think now. In the last week, in your last month, in your last year, in your last 5 years, have you been expanding your network? There's one, I'm not going to get into politics, okay? Donald Trump, some people love him, some people hate him. I'm only referring to a quote that he said when I was a little kid, like more than 17 years ago. I heard this quote and it stuck to me because I understood what he meant by that. You might have heard this quote before, but maybe it kind of went in one ear and kind of just, it didn't make much sense to you. But here's a quote that really sums it up. He said, can anyone guess that quote? The word network is in that quote. I'm sure some of you must have heard it before. Donald Trump said it, or maybe some other people said it. It's a quote. It's three words in this quote. One of the three words is network. No, sorry, about 6 words, about 5 words. Anyways, here's a quote, all right? Because it depends on is network 2 words or 1 word, right? But Donald Trump said, your network is your net worth. Like the bigger your network, then the more lives you can change, the more value you can bring to people. Hence, the people who bring more value to a marketplace, their pocket, their checkbook, their bank accounts get bigger. And that's his business. So if you look back in your business and you're having a slow week or a slow month or a slow year or a slow 5 years, my question for you is, has your network been growing in that point of time? And I hope it hits you hard right now that if you haven't been putting yourself in situations to get out there and expand your network, that is why you're not seeing any growth or you're not selling products. What's happening instead is you have the same network of people, the same pie, and you're constantly trying to talk to that same network of people. And yet you would have been much better off just having a much bigger pie. And I'll give some examples, right? And tonight I'm going to give you some ideas on how to build your network in a way that's actually for fun. So I hope all of you have some hobbies, okay? So for me, guess what? I love golfing. Golfing is one of my hobbies. So what do you think I do? Do you think I just go with the same people every single time to go golfing? Give me your answers, guys. Do you think if Renee loves golfing, do you think Renee only golfs with the exact same people every single time, every single week? Or do you think maybe I'm going to meet other golfers, network with people, meet people, and then schedule other foursomes, meet new people from other events that might be they play golf, we haven't come interest. Exactly. You all know that. Like I would absolutely never. I mean, yeah, and some people are friends. You want to go with them every now and then, but I'm constantly trying to meet more people, and so I'm combining golfing, one of my hobbies, with networking and expanding my network. And so just by doing that, in one activity that I enjoy doing, I'm constantly expanding my network. I love tennis now. My boys play tennis. I play tennis. And guess what? When we go to the tennis park, there's always people that we might bump into. I've now sold products to people at the tennis courts. And now, again, I was actually talking to Heidi about me potentially joining a tennis league. And so, of course, I had to balance my time. But do you think that would be a great way for me to go and expand my network by being part of these tennis leagues? Of course it would, right? I used to play badminton. And even playing badminton, do you think I played at the same club at the same time forever? No, right? I would change different clubs. So tonight, I'm trying to make it really easy for you. That one easy way to expand your network is to find a hobby that you enjoy. So write down for me, guys, what are the hobbies you guys enjoy doing? And let me give you guys some ideas here, right? Maybe you enjoy dancing. Go join. Yeah, if you love dancing, oh my goodness, there's so many people, so many dancing events you can go to. And guess what, right? Do people who dance maybe have joint pain and body pain, or they're drinking a little bit too much and they have to take care of the, of course they do, right? Go play pool. Exactly, right? Okay. Now again, is it, even if you enjoy reading, which is usually something you do by yourself, could you find something in reading that would be in the same lines of involving networking? There's book clubs, right? So even something like reading, which is very solitary for most people, you could be part of a book club where you meet other people and you discuss the books that you read. Gymming, going to the gym, pickleball. Like everyone here, if you don't have a gym membership, I suggest go and get one, especially if you're not very active. Because again, as we get older, yes, supplements are great that we have Fountain of Life and Divine, but we should probably do more stuff to get even more in shape, right? And again, the key here, folks, is to expand your network. That was the secret. Like if you want to have never-ending customers, never-ending new partners coming on board, you, especially you, and if you can show your team the same thing and everyone is expanding your network, oh my goodness, your business will explode, right? So Karen says, yeah, going to the gym, playing pickleball. Pickleball is a great new sport. It's very cheap. It's free if you go outdoors in the summertime, right? You don't have to have a membership. Go pick up pickleball, right? And so, or baseball, mahjong, dancing. So what happened was, of course, me and the CEO and some other, we have this hobby of cigars, right? We do maybe once a week or once in a while. But guess what, right? I've met now people that in this there's a special cigar community that I've met now, and they host events once every month, once every 2 months. At these events, I'm constantly meeting new people, and it's perfect because I enjoy doing that. And people who enjoy cigars usually have money to buy cigars. And then, of course, when you have a cigar, you want to have perhaps a whiskey or a scotch or like a bourbon, and they have money for that. My point is that I found a great market because, and I'm not telling you to go and do this. I'm just giving you an example, right? Like, don't go and pick up cigars because Renee said so. I'm just saying the people that I've met, right? They usually want to buy Fountain of Life because they have the money for it, right? But the same thing for tennis, right? Same thing for people who have money for golfing, usually have, they care about their health. They might be drinking a few beers on the golf course. And so, but again, the whole point though is it's not really about whether they have money or not. It's are you expanding your network? And so if you've really been struggling in your business while others have not been struggling, that's the reason why. Is your network probably hasn't been growing at all. Now, because even, and it's not even about necessarily the type of network, because Everyone knows someone that has a health issue that will be willing to spend a few money to go and buy the products, right? So I hope this helps, guys. Anyone here have any other suggestions on again how we can expand our networks? So I gave you one, right? One is through finding a hobby. Maybe you enjoy cooking. Go join a cooking club. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, unless you're living in the North Pole with like two other people. If you're in a city, even in like a very far remote city in the middle of nowhere, I can guarantee you, if you were to drive around places, you would find there's so many clubs. There's baking clubs, there's cooking clubs, there's dancing clubs, there's sports clubs. There's so many different kinds of clubs you can join. And yes, you have to get out of your house. You can try to prospect online. I'm telling you right now, in my own experience, prospecting in person and expanding your network is 1,000 times more effective than trying to prospect online. Unless you're willing to really go heavy on social media and post every single day and do crazy follow-ups on social media and build a huge following and really spend a lot of time into that. I'm telling you, it's a lot easier just expanding your network locally because people that you meet locally will know their people. Maria said it just now. Number one is face-to-face, belly-to-belly prospecting. You got business events, real estate seminars, right? Market book signings. Oh my, meetup groups, fantastic. How about trade shows, right? And so there's a lot of people out there that are networking. I mean, I went to there's all these networking events, but you have to get out there and spend the time and go and look for them. They are in your communities. There are farmers markets, flea markets, yeah, trade shows, yeah, parent meetings at school. Absolutely. There's a parents, I was part of my son's parent association, the PA group, because I wanted to go meet new people. And I sold bottles to some of the parents over there, right? So the whole thing I'm trying to say today, guys, is you cannot stay home. The reason why I had a great start to my business is because I literally was out every day. I was at networking events whenever they had one. And if I didn't have a prospect yet, I was at a networking event. And I was just out there. So again, you can build it from home online if you want, but you have to be prepared that you're going to do a lot of work into social media and be really good at it. Get comfortable on people seeing your private life, most likely, because a lot of social media influencers they build a huge following because people get to know who they are. So this whole idea of I'm going to stay home and be on a computer and no one knows who I am, but I'm going to sell a lot of products. If it was that easy, you would have done it already, right? So that's the secret, guys, is your network is your net worth. And there's just so many millions of ways to do that. And you have to do like 50 of them. Just pick one, pick two or three. You'll find that your week gets busy. You're now meeting people. You're now sharing about the story of Fountain of Life or your business. And you're going to have, get togethers. You're going to go for dinners, have some lunches. They're going to ask what you do. You're going to become friends. And then you're going to share how this can help them with something. It's going to have this snowball effect. Trust me, it will happen because I've been through it myself now, you know. And so from one event I went to at a cigar group that I sold about I think about 3 bottles that night. That led to another event that I sold another 4 more bottles, and then of course that's constantly now snowballing, right? Or maybe you want to have a booth somewhere, go to a mall and inquire. But these are things that you have to do. You have to decide, I'm going to get off my couch, leave my house, and tonight my goal is to go around there, search online, and find clubs and events to be a part of. And it might take you a few weeks. Maybe what you want to do is go and call people, your friends and family, and ask them, hey guys, have you heard, do you know of any clubs in the area? What a great way to prospect your warm market is give them a call, your warm market on your phone, and tell them, you know what, I've been looking at actually attending some different kind of, club, and I want to ask you, what are some of the clubs that you might have been a part of before or are part of right now? Can you recommend me or refer me some clubs or some kind of groups that I can join? Right? Again, find a reason to call people to then again to establish another connection and to build more like and trust, right? So so Karen's asking me to share how I start the conversation that might lead to the sales. So I never actually usually start my conversation with the business, never, never, or with the products. Usually I'm the kind of guy that likes to, make people laugh, and I enjoy laughing myself too, right? And so I like to just, just to talk to people and be nice, be humble, build like and trust, make some jokes along the way, right? You know what I mean? And so one example was I was at the tennis court, and one of the fathers that I met, we were waiting for a court, and he had his younger son there, and he saw me, Rex, and Leon. And he asked me, "Oh, like, you guys, do you play tennis with both of your boys?" I said, "Yeah, we try to go almost every day." He goes, "Oh, that's so sad." But and then he right away after he said that, he said, "I don't mean like it's great that you guys are doing that, but he said that for me, it makes me sad because my older son died in a car accident about a year ago." And I was like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, I feel so bad for him. I feel like my condolences. I can even imagine what you're going through. But then I said to him, but I think it's fantastic that you're out right now with your other son, trying to be active and trying to play sports together. His other son, of course, didn't seem as athletic, but I could see that he's trying really hard to just build that father-son thing with his only son that's remaining still, right? And so we just got talking, Like for me, I just want to connect with people, just connect on a friend's point of view. And eventually he told me that he was stretching, he has his body pains. So right away, because again, I care about this person. I always come from a place of care. I said to him, well, you know what? I mean, I see you're in pain. By the way, I always share a third party story. I said, actually my father-in-law also had a lot of like body pains or arthritis. He started using this really cool product, and just after a few weeks, all his pains went away. He goes, well, what's that product? So it's called the Fountain of Life. Have you heard of it? He's like, no, I haven't. And so, he's like, well, can you tell me more about it? So I just started explaining, some basic stuff about, it's anti-inflammatory. It's like from the Norwegian spruce tree, the story of the tree, and of course the lignans. And people always love that tree story, right? Where the scientists cut the tree down and then the tree branches didn't die. It's a self-healing tree. And so, yeah, so basically after that, I said, if you want, let me go and actually, I have some in my car. I have the brochure that came with it. Let me just give you the brochure. Long story short, we actually met up for coffee. I showed him more about the product, and then he bought a bottle. And that's how that started. For the cigar event, I was actually carpooling with three guys I just met them the first time. We're going downtown for an event for cigars. And, we just in the car, just chit-chatting, having fun, making some jokes, talking about cigars and different brands and Cubans versus other them. And they just asked me, well, what do I do? And whenever someone asks me, well, Renee, like, what do you do? Right? What I always say is I answer them with a story. I always say to them, so basically, our company actually met an incredible genius scientist in Finland. And it's a funny story because the scientist asked his wife, the scientist's wife asked the scientist to cut this tree down that was blocking the light into the kitchen, this Norwegian spruce tree. And so when they cut the tree down, the broken branches on the floor. What's shocking is he noticed that those broken branches on the floor, they actually never died. Like most tree branches, when you cut it off, right, the branch will wither and rot. But this particular Norwegian spruce tree, it just kept on living. And so he then later on found out that this tree is like a self-healing tree. It heals itself. And so years later, the scientists and as we got together, we collaborated, and he found a way to extract this incredible, ingredient called lignans from the tree. And our company got the whole Health Canada approval. So now it's safe, and since it's Health Canada approved, everything's safe now. It's all natural to take it for oral products. And so it literally helps to like heal your body essentially. And then, of course, when I share that story, they started asking, well, can I do this? Can I do that? I was like, yeah, my hair grew back, my pain went away, my son had eczema. I just kind of spin it. Then I go into story sharing mode. So after I share the story of the origins of Fountain of Life, I then go into sharing story mode, sharing stories. So again, sharing the origin of FOL, then sharing the stories. And just from that, he's like, okay, well, I gotta try a bottle. And so I sold bottles just from again doing that. So whenever someone asks me, what do I do for a living? I have the same standard template response. It's always the same thing. So I hope that tonight, though, the main like message I'm trying to drill into the head of yours, right, is a question you need to ask yourself and answer honestly. Have I or you been expanding our network consistently, and ongoingly? I can tell you right now, if you're not having success or you're not selling products, the answer most likely is because you have not been expanding your network. Like I love there's some people on this call, like I'll name one person like Maria Baptiste, for example. She is constantly expanding her network all the time. Like maybe the same thing. They're always meeting new people. They always book every trade show they can go to. Chris and Tammy is at the farmer market every single week. Like put yourself in places to always meet new people. Because again, I'm going to say it again. If you're seeing the same people every single weekend and every week you're doing the same thing, you're not going out, how can you expect your business to grow? You're talking to the same people all the time. Like it's almost like common sense, but we never actually maybe think about it that way, right? So we've got to change the routine. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting we're going to have different results. Talking to the same people over and over and over again will not get you results. It's insane. That's why any top networker, any top business person in the world has massive connections. The person that beautiful yacht that we were on, that me and our CEO was on, I'm telling you, like the owner of that business, he is constantly like he's already well made. He makes so much money. But guess what? Do you think he stops meeting new people? He's always inviting new business people because to be on the boat, because he knows that by meeting new people, his business constantly will grow. And he's learning. Like we can learn a lot just from networking with other people, right? But more importantly, if we can treat this business seriously, we all would have realized a long time ago that we must constantly expand our network. Every business has to constantly expand their network or their customer base, right? And we're no different here. So tonight, I really hope this was like a big epiphany night where you're going to start tonight and start contemplating how can I expand my network? And we gave you tons of ideas this evening. I believe we did, right? Tons of ideas. Find a hobby, join a club, attend networking events, join dancing is cool. Dancing is a great hobby. You can meet people, right? Do dancing maybe. It could be fencing. Even if you like reading, join a book club. But again, just be honest with yourself. You know, do you want to become wealthy? Yes, but can we recognize that we need to put time into the business, which is to expand our network? We can't be at home watching TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, watching streaming stuff like Netflix, Disney Plus. We can't be doing these things and expect somehow we're going to expand our network, which equals to more net worth. We can't be at home reading books or, slouching or even going to the gym and not talking to people and expect that our network will grow, which equals more net worth. Going to the gym, like I see some people go to the gym and they're antisocial. It's like they don't want to talk, they want to go to the gym, do their thing, and leave. That kind of defeats the purpose of what we're talking about tonight, right? The whole idea of going to the gym is you're going to meet people, start conversations, right? Yeah, you want to get a good workout in, but whatever, right? Your main priority is to really to go and expand your network. So, I want to take some time here at the very end just to allow people to ask questions as always, or perhaps you want to come on the line, unmute yourself and share a little bit and maybe help me inspire the rest of the people on this call. Let's do it together, all right? So I do see that Yvonne Floyd Davis has her hand raised. So Yvonne Floyd Davis, I'm going to just unmute you here. And yeah, please, did you want to share something or ask a question, Yvonne?
That probably happened accidental, Renee.
Oh, okay. Well, since you're here, do you want to share something?
Well, my point is I like meeting people. So when I go out to the grocery and the marketplaces, I will have a bottle with my sample bottle, develop a conversation just along your style, and it will lead to that.
Wonderful.
So, yeah,
No,
okay.
yeah, do you want to share more? Oh, please go on though if you want to share more.
Well, that's just what I wanted to contribute.
Okay, well, again, thank you so much. Yeah, again, definitely going to the grocery stores, right,
Yeah.
is a fantastic place. In fact, one thing that I always do nowadays is whenever I go anywhere, especially to like a store or buying something, as part of my training that you probably heard before, every time someone gives you a service, like you bought something and they, whether they're the waiter, the waitress, or their service person at a clothing store, gas station, doesn't really matter. Always thank them and say to them, do you mind if I give you this? And give them a copy to your brochure, right? Again, that's the best way to go in and just constantly meet new people, right? And they'll ask you, well, by the way, what is that, by the way, right? So, wherever I go, every single time I see somebody that I do a transaction with them, I'm always handing out brochures. Just you don't know. You never know that they might, maybe they have zero interest in what you're selling, but they might know someone else who might know someone else who might know someone else that might be interested. But that's the whole point of it always constantly expanding our network. And you'll find that the bigger your network becomes, you become a lot smarter because now you're learning so much from so many people. You become more wiser because now you're seeing a much broader spectrum of how people think in general. Like you can learn so much just from listening to other people, right? And that's just a side benefit of this. So hope that helps. Anyone else want to share a few words before we close off the call tonight and do some announcements? But yeah, again, I don't know what you're expecting when I told you the secret of how I get there. It's just that I'm constantly Like in my phone, I'm constantly adding new people that I've met. If not daily, for sure, every other few days, I meet somebody new. Because from one new person, imagine how many people that they might know. But you have to take the time to build like and trust. I think actually I see Aranya is on this call and also Apinya. Like those are two people that I'm constantly seeing them expanding their network in Thailand. Like Aranya, congrats to her. She became, I think, the president of the Lions Club, which is a group in Thailand, right? But do you think that by her being part of the Lions Club and her devotion to that club has helped her expand her network? That hasn't helped her to expand her net worth? Do you think that might be related to why she's having always success? 100%. And Aranya is someone that, like Maria as well, too, they always care about people. They're always, right? So, you know, if you live in a city that have a million people, even just a million people, it's so hard to meet a million people. That's a lot of people. You can't meet a million people in 1 year. It's impossible. So wherever you are in the world, you have plenty of people to go and to expand your network with. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for all your compliments. Oh, thank you, Herrick here. Yeah, actually from Singapore, also on the call, right? Yeah. So there's just so many places. So I hope you guys got some value in tonight's training. I just thought I'd kind of hammer on this point here because I want you guys to succeed. And I know you can't really do it from your couch. You could, but it's tough. Like social media. I've tried it. I've gotten some sales. I'm just telling you my own experience. It's way and people, everyone will tell you this. Every top trainer in the world will tell you this. It's always easier face to face, right? Oh, I see Aranya has her hand raised. Aranya, I see all your incredible photos in Thailand. I miss being with you guys. But I'll be there soon, sometime maybe in the early New Year's. Aranya, you want to share a few words though, please?
Yes, please. Hi, good morning from Thailand, and I'm sure it's good evening and good day from
สวัสดีครั
everywhere
บ
in our world. Yes, sawadee. Just want to say hello, and also since you mentioned how we been expanding in Thailand and Laos, right? Because we are combined team, so we have to be just one team here, and together with the whole world of us is one team, one dream to the billion, right? What you have mentioned just now that with all joining the clubs and different activities, different people, and yes, definitely, absolutely. That's how I also grow my business because Lions Club is not just in Mahasarakam, but it's also in the whole region of uh, part of northeastern Thailand and then the country. And of course, now I get some people interested in our products and use it and tried it. And apart from that, around the area, also the elderly club. That's where we need the most, right? Our customer, the elderly club, because they always have ache here, pain there,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
they were very interested. And one little point I just want to make before I let you back to that call. Um, on the call on the day that the tour that Rico, our Asian manager, right, regional manager, came to Thailand, and we had this tour. One couple, it was in the restaurant. We had one whole section on the side, and then the normal restaurant was running. One couple was sitting there, and one of my partner, uh, Chontisha came and said Apple. Actually, Apple was saying that, hey, that couple looked interested. I said, go and talk to them. But she said he's a foreigner married to a Thai. So she said, I need your help. So I just went by and said hello, and they got interested. You know what happened was the husband used to work in Vietnam, and now they're having a import export business in Thailand for furniture.
Wow.
So we talk. Now we're talking to each other. Well, I got their, what do you call that, contact. And Minat, Rico were there, but they were sitting, resting, waiting for their turn. Mina said, "Hey, I give you this sample. You know the one that the build what do you call that? The little bottle."
The
So
builder.
I did. Yeah. So I was talking to them and gave them that. Now follow up is today. Right. Hope that wish me luck. Okay. Thank you. That's all I want to say. And thank you. Great training,
Wow.
Renee. Always. I love learning from Forensic Networker. Always love listening from your sharing story. ขอบคุณค่ะ The
ขอบคุณครับ
Opulence Nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. People know who you are. You're like our main translator for all the Thai English calls, and the people love you. And you know what? You're very right because again, the Lions Club, by the way, it doesn't stop in Thailand, right? It expands to other countries have Lions Club, like Hong Kong, even here in Toronto, right? So that's amazing. And to your last point with the person who got the VIP builder. But see, at least right now, Aranya has someone to follow up with. A lot of people on this call, because they're not expanding your network, you have no one new to follow up with. You're always going back perhaps to the same older people. So, Aranya, thank you so much. I definitely missed the whole Thailand and Laos team.
Yes, thank you. Come back. And oh, by the way, thank to our Rico and our product manager in Thailand, Minat. Everyone knows him by Minat. By the way, everyone, if you have all these people with you, they're very supportive. They're very supportive wherever they follow you or go with you. Like when Renee is in the Philippines, when Rico goes on the tour around Philippines, please make use of them. They're lovely. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
thank you,
bye.
Rania. As the saying goes, to use and abuse, right? In a nice way, of course, not physically abuse, but like use it to help us talk to your prospects, right? I also see, of course, we have our amazing, Asia manager, of course, Niranat on the call as well here too. And so, guys, thank you so much for being part of the call, and for those of you who are very active sharing in the chat box. And I hope that you gained some value for tonight. As always, we're one team, one dream to the billion. I'm going to turn the call back to our host. I'm not sure who the host actually is today. I just started talking from the very beginning. And if you are the host, please feel free. Oh, okay. Hello, hello. Yeah, so please feel free to unmute yourself. Hello.
Hi, Renee. It was a
Hello.
very, very beautiful training. Thank you very much.
Actually, while I'm talking, I'm actually planning my next event to go to, right? So, you know what? That's all from my side. As always, thank you all for tuning in to the Forensic Networker training call. Don't miss these calls here. And again, go out there, expand your network, meet more people, get out there, right? Live. There's so much more than just being at home, right? Get out there, live, meet new people, get new experiences, and of course, as always. As our team logo saying is, we're one team, one dream,
One dream to the
a
billion.
billion. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you,
Good
everyone. Have a great
night.
night.